During the Mexican War of 1846-48, American-Irish soldiers sang a song called Green Grows the Laurel, or the Lilacs in another version, so often that Mexicans began calling the Americans gringos, from green grows. It is a lovely love song of the theme soldiers have sung about for ages, that is, being separated from their sweethearts. Green grow the lilacs all sparkling with dew. I'm lonely, my darling, since parting from you. But by the next meeting I hope to prove true and change the green lilacs for the red, white, and blue. I once had a sweetheart, but now I have none. Since she's gone and left me, I care not for none. Since she's gone and left me, contented I'll be, for she loves another one better than me. Green grow the lilacs all sparkling with dew. I'm lonely, my darling, since parting from you. But by the next meeting I hope to prove true and change the green lilacs for the red, white, and blue. I passed my love's window both early and late. The look that she gave me would make your heart ache. Oh, the look that she gave me was painful to see, for she loves another one better than me. Green grow the lilacs all sparkling with dew. I'm lonely, my darling, since parting from you. But by the next meeting I hope to prove true and change the green lilacs for the red, white, and blue. I wrote my love letters in red rosy lines. She wrote me an answer all twisted in twine, saying, keep your love letters and I will keep mine. Just you write to your love and I'll write to mine. Green grow the lilacs all sparkling with dew. I'm lonely, my darling, since parting from you. But by the next meeting I hope to prove true and change the green lilacs for the red, white, and blue. The oil phenomenon, as modern as it may seem, was a dramatic one way back in the 1800s, when the black sticky stuff began to be drilled feverishly. One of the earliest songs about oil, if not the very first, is this lugubrious expression by an Irish oil worker. From California ocean lave to old Virginia shore, and from the Gulf of Mexico to northern Labrador, all o'er the land the word is now petroleum all the while, and all the bores and the bores inquire, have you struck oil? Hurrah, hurrah, rich treasures in our sile, what care we if for your outrage our nation has struck oil? Brown says to Jones, have you struck oil? And Jones in turn asks Brown, and so the question goes along through country, state, and town. Petroleum's the newborn wealth which issues from the sile, and the all-absorbing question is, my friend, have you struck oil? Hurrah, hurrah, rich treasures in our sile, what care we if all your outrage our nation has struck oil? But yesterday that man was poor who's now a millionaire, for on his lands deemed worthless then are found oil wells most rare. His neighbors all now half run mad are boring through the sile, and oleaginous signs they seek all hoping to strike oil. Hurrah, hurrah,
hurrah! Rich treasures in our sile. What care we if for Europe rage our nation has struck isle?
All hail the newborn wealth, all hail, now gushing from oil fountains in every part of our proud land, from valleys, plains, and mountains. We've wealth untold in oil and gold, rich treasures in our sile. What care we if full Europe rage our nation has struck isle?
Hurrah, hurrah, rich treasures in our sile. What care we if full Europe rage our nation has struck isle? Hurrah, hurrah, rich treasures in our sile. What care we if full Europe rage our nation has struck isle?
Carl Sandburg tells how a young girl from Nebraska was asked, after returning from a trip to the East, "What's the East like?" That is, the United States East. The little girl said, "The East is where trees come between you and the sky." She meant, of course, that she had seen only wide prairie until then, and big sky. Since there were few trees, the early settlers on the prairie could build no log cabins, but had to settle for houses made out of dirt, or sod, and a settler was called a Sod Buster. From a song called "The Little Old Cabin in the Lane," another song was fashioned entitled "The Little Old Sod Shanty on My Claim." I am looking rather seedy now while holding down my claim, and my victuals are not always of the best, and the mice play shyly round me as I nestle down to rest in my little old sod shanty in the west. Yet I rather like the novelty of living in this way, though my bill of fare is always rather tame. But I am happy as a clam on the land of Uncle Sam, in my little old sod shanty on my claim. The hinges are of leather and the windows have no glass, while the board roof lets the howling blizzards in. And I hear the hungry coyote as he slinks up through the grass, round my little old sod shanty on my claim. Oh, when I left my eastern home, a bachelor so gay, to try and win my way to wealth and fame, I little thought that I'd come down to burning twisted hay in the little old sod shanty on my claim. My clothes are plastered o'er with dough, I'm looking like a fright, and everything is scattered round the room. But I wouldn't give the freedom that I have out in the West for the table of the eastern man's old home. The hinges are of leather and the windows have no glass, while the board roof lets the howling blizzards in. And I hear the hungry coyote as he slinks up through the grass, round my little old sod shanty on my claim. Still I wish that some kind-hearted girl would pity on me take, and relieve me from the mess that I am in. The angel, how I'd bless her if this her home she'd make, in the little old sod shanty on my claim. And we would make our fortunes on the prairies of the West, just as happy as two lovers we'd remain. We'd forget the trials and troubles we endured at the first, in the little old sod shanty on our claim. The hinges are of leather and the windows have no glass, while the board roof lets the howling blizzards in. And I hear the hungry coyote as he slinks up through the grass, round my little old sod shanty on my claim. And if kind fate should bless me with now and then an heir to cheer our hearts with honest pride of fame, oh, then we'd be contented for the toil that we had spent in the little old sod shanty on our claim. When time enough had lapsed and all of those little brats to noble man and womanhood had grown, it wouldn't seem half as lonely as around as we should look and see the little old sod shanty on our claim. The hinges are of leather and the windows have no glass, while the board roof lets the howling blizzards in. And I hear the hungry coyote as he slinks up through the grass round my little old sod shanty on my claim. The state of Illinois is celebrated by the early settler in the pioneering song called, in the pronunciation of the time by some, Elanoy. Illinois is called a Garden of Eden in the song, and we can imagine in those simpler times what it must have been like to go westering to the beautiful state of Illinois. Way down upon the Wabash, such land was never known. If Adam had passed over it, the soil he'd surely own. He'd think it was the garden he'd played in when a boy, and straight pronounce it Eden in the state of Illinois. Then move your family westward, good health you will enjoy, and rise to wealth and honor in the state of Illinois. 'Twas here the Queen of Sheba came with Solomon of old, with an ass load of spices, pomegranates, and fine gold. And when she saw this lovely land, her heart was filled with joy. Straightway she said, I'd like to be a queen in Illinois. Then move your family westward, good health you will enjoy, and rise to wealth and honor in the state of Illinois. She's bounded by the Wabash, the Ohio, and the lakes. She's got crawfish in the swampy lands, the milk sick and the shakes. But these are slight diversions, and take not from the joy of living in this garden land, the state of Illinois. Then move your family westward, good health you will enjoy, and rise to wealth and honor in the state of Illinois. Away up in the northward, right on the borderline, a great commercial city, Chicago, you will find. Her men are all like Abelard, her women like Eloise, all honest, virtuous people, for they live in Illinois. Then move your family westward, bring all your girls and boys, and cross that Shawnee Ferry in the state of Illinois. An old hymn, Beulah Land, might have inspired the pioneering song called Dakota Land, which complains of the lack of rain on the prairie and how desperate life becomes without it, especially in the old days before Red Cross and modern communications, when the West was all wilderness. We've reached the land of desert sweet, where nothing grows for man to eat. The wind it blows with feverish heat across the plains so hard to beat. Oh, Dakota land, sweet Dakota land, as on thy fiery soil I stand, I look across the plains and wonder why it never rains, till Gabriel blows his trumpet sound
and says the rain's just gone around.
We've reached the land of hills and stones, where all is strewn with buffalo bones. Oh, buffalo bones, bleached buffalo bones, I seem to hear your sighs and moans. Oh, Dakota land, sweet Dakota land, as on thy fiery soil I stand, I look across the plains and wonder why it never rains, till Gabriel blows his trumpet sound and says the rain's just gone around. We have no wheat, we have no oats, we have no corn to feed our shoats. Our chickens are so very poor, they beg for crumbs outside the door. Oh, Dakota land, sweet Dakota land, as on thy fiery soil I stand, I look across the plains and wonder why it never rains, till Gabriel blows his trumpet sound and says the rain's just gone around. Our horses are of bronco race, starvation stares them in the face. We do not live, we only stay, we are too poor to get away. Oh, Dakota land, sweet Dakota land, as on thy fiery soil I stand, I look across the plains and wonder why it never rains, till Gabriel blows his trumpet sound and says the rain's just gone around. There were once millions of buffalo on the western plains, but they were decimated to a fraction of their original population. They might have disappeared entirely if conservationists recently had not taken a strong stand. And now the buffalo is being protected. The job of a buffalo skinner in the earlier days of the West was probably one of the dirtiest and meanest a man could do, as the song, The Buffalo Skinners, demonstrates. It happened in Jacksboro in the spring of '73. A man by the name of Crago came stepping up to me, saying, "How do you do, young feller, and how would you like to go and spend a summer pleasantly on the range of the buffalo?" It's me being out of employment, this to Crago I did say. This going out on the buffalo range depends upon the pay, but if you will pay good wages and transportation too, I think, sir, I will go with you to the range of the buffalo. Yes, I will pay good wages, give transportation too, provided you will go with me and stay the summer through. But if you should grow homesick, come back to Jacksboro, I won't pay transportation from the range of the buffalo. It's now our outfit was complete, 7 able-bodied men. With Navy 6 and needle gun, our troubles did begin. Our way, it was a pleasant one, the route we had to go, until we crossed Pease River on the range of the buffalo. It's now we've crossed Pease River, our troubles have begun. The first darn tail I went to rip, Lord, how I cut my thumb. While skinning the dang old stinkers, our lives wasn't a show, for the Indians watched to pick us off on the range of the buffalo. Our meat, it was buffalo rump and iron wedge bread, and all we had to sleep on was a buffalo robe for a bed. The fleas and graybacks worked on us, so boys, it was not slow. I'll tell you, there's no worse hell on earth than the range of the buffalo. The season being near over, old Corrigo, he did say, the crowd had been extravagant, wasn't dead to him that day. We coaxed him and we begged him, and still it was no go. We left his dangle bones to bleach on the range of the buffalo. Oh, it's now we've crossed Pease River, and homeward we are bound. No more in that hell-fired country shall ever we be found. Go home to our wives and sweethearts, tell others not to go. For God's forsaken the buffalo range and the darned old buffalo. For God's forsaken the buffalo range and the darned old buffalo.